What are we like?
Totally ready. Hello everybody and welcome to Better Life Project TV, the place to be to help make your awesome business and life happen. My name is Sarah and I am so glad that you have joined me today for what I know is going to be an incredible episode, particularly for all you ladies out there. I would like to welcome to the show an incredibly inspiring girl boss, but also my friend, Elysia Doody.
Thank you.
Elysia is a nutritionist and owner of Body For You with an expertise in fat loss, corporate well-being and fertility. Elysia has an incredible story to share that started over 10 years ago as a dancer in a school.
Yeah.
But you're not going to hear it from me. Let's hear it from Elysia. Thank you for coming
Great,
on to
no
the
problem
show.
at all. Thank you very much for having me. Super excited.
Yeah. So tell me, your journey to where you are right now kicked off about 10 years ago.
That's it.
To see the steps that you've taken in the 4 years that I've known you, to see what it is that you've accomplished now with your incredible business Body For You, I know it's going to inspire a lot of people. So let's bring it back 10 years. Tell me how it all got started.
Yeah, so I suppose like my full-time job has always been behind a desk, working in a corporate environment. I was working in human resources, and whether I made these decisions consciously or unconsciously, everything's kind of led me to where I am kind of at the moment in nutrition. At the time, I probably wouldn't have known that that's where I was going to go. Like you said, I was teaching dance part-time, so I was running a dance school with a friend of mine. And we were running the dance school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay.
So what had actually happened was she got pregnant, and had asked me to come in and help support running up while she was having her baby. So I was doing that, and it was really good at the time. We were doing Latin like salsa classes and stuff like that, and they were really big at the time.
You also did a little bit of pole as well.
I did pole dancing, as well, kind of after that. But at the time we were doing salsa classes. Our catchment area was Dublin, Kildare, Offaly. I was working full time, then I was going straight to teaching dance classes. Could have done 2-3 a night. It was really super busy, but we were like, our classes were full. It was really good. Then along came Zumba and kind of blew us out of the water. Really? Yeah. And we had to kind of think of, different things, like what can we kind of do? And, I'm the type of person, I'll always try to, improve something if I think that it can be improved and stuff like that. So we had to kind of think of different ideas, I suppose. And I was going out with a guy at the time as well, and I remember kind of pitching some ideas to him, and I was always kind of told, you're a dreamer. What are you dreaming? Stop this dreaming and you stick to the full-time job, basically. And it kind of knocked my confidence, I suppose, a bit. And I kind of thought, oh gosh, maybe that's not a good idea, or maybe he's right, maybe I'm not good enough to do this. I had this idea because we were trying to, like, Zumba and the fitness thing was odd, and the dance fitness and all of these crazes were starting to happen. And because you're looking back at, I'd say it was probably 2006, 2007, around that time. And I kind of thought, well, what if there was a centre and we could do all of the classes together? And people could go to any type of class that they wanted. And someone could do a kettlebell class, or they could do a dance class, or they could do Zumba, or they could do salsa. And, you could kind of book in and you have a membership. And I thought this was a great idea. But I was kind of always hit with this resistance from someone who probably should have been my number one supporter. Exactly. So whatever, we broke up, that was fine. I kind of went on my traveling around the world as people tend to do, and this idea was always kind of in the back of my head. And I kind of thought, when I came back and kind of getting my confidence back and stuff like that, that I decided that I would, because when I was really low, I suppose, and I'm an emotional eater, I would eat my emotions, and I started to put on weight. But through, I suppose, my interest in fitness and nutrition, I was able to kind of research it and kind of reduce my weight and lose weight myself, And then I kind of thought, well, Jesus, look, I could probably help people with this as well. So this is where my interest in, I suppose, exercise and nutrition started to evolve. And bearing in mind, I was still working full time. I came back from Australia, whatever, went back into human resources, because that was steady income for me. It was handy. And I decided I was going to do a personal training course. And I suppose the longest time I met Kieran then, who's my current boyfriend, my partner. I remember pitching this idea to him, and he was really supportive about it and stuff like that as well. So, this was great. I did my PT qualification, and I remember sitting in work one day, and I think I must have just been really peeved or whatever, and just spur of the moment like this, handed in my notice. See you later, I'm going off to be a PT now, and I'm going to set up my awesome studio, and I've got these great ideas and all of this. And I remember going over to my folks and telling my mom and dad, thinking, this is great, I'm starting my own business now. And my dad was like, but you've got no capital. And I'm like, that'd be grand, who needs that type of thing? I'm like, it's easy, you just go, join a gym, BBT, it's easy. And it was good because I suppose Kieran was really supportive as well. He would help me with my business plan and all of these things, because sometimes you still have that, the little mind monkeys in your head and the little confidence knocks. When you hear that from someone, you kind of expected to hear it from other people.
And when you're that boyfriend that you mentioned who wasn't encouraging or supportive of your goals and plans, did you ever try to, I guess for anyone who's listening to the show and understands or relates to what you've gone through, did you ever try to in some way stand up to it, or did it just have that effect where he told you were a dreamer? And
I was very young and probably insecure at the time. I was 22, 23. And I think it was just, I was very insecure at the time that I just took it, that's what must be true, that kind of way. So it did take a while for me to kind of build that confidence. And people don't know this about me, because people see the bright and bubbly, confident Elysia, and they don't necessarily think, that's what's underneath everyone, is that those insecurities that everyone kind of has.
If you were to talk to that 22-year-old girl now and offer her a piece of advice just after he's turned around and said you're a dreamer, what advice would you give to the 22-year-old you?
I would just say, do it. Don't, I would say you're great, you're fantastic, you have the ability, you have the knowledge, you have the skills. It's a great idea.
And it's incredible. It was really nice to hear you talk, because you had this idea of the centre, as you mentioned. And I know this is what you want for Body For You as well. So
exactly.
You are on the journey that you're on is so consistent almost. The goals and the dreams are all kind of the same.
It's kind of always been there, that kind of way. And it's evolved in different ways, and through my own experience and growing and developing and aging and over the years, So as I said, I was working in gyms doing my dance classes. I was trying to build this kind of credibility or whatever. And of course, my dad was right. I ran out of money. So
that capital does come in handy.
It does come in handy. Write that down. So I had to kind of go back with my tail between my legs and kind of get a steady, stable job again, to try and go, okay, well, maybe I need to do this better. I kind of, through experience as well, kind of realised that I didn't think that I really wanted to be a personal trainer. I think I'd made that decision at that point. I tried it for a while and was kind of like, I don't think that's really what I want. So I went back and I was in it was a pretty busy job. It was a stressful job, and I'd always worked full-time and done I've worked in the health and wellness or health and fitness industry part-time. And that was for a couple of years. I didn't do any of that, and I really missed it. And I was working in this job that was really stressful, and I started to notice myself getting some, I suppose, digestive issues. And you know yourself how stress can impact the body, and it can manifest in so many ways for so many people. And for me, it was my stomach. And I started to get these digestive issues, and bloating, fatigue. It affected everything, my day-to-day, very, very tough. And I started to research these. This is me. I will try and research various different things and apply these things to myself. I did it with the weight loss when I was trying to figure that out. I'm always trying to learn about how I can do these things for myself. And so I came across nutritional therapy and functional medicine, and this approach to treating the cause as opposed to just treating the symptoms. And I worked with a nutritionist to reduce my symptoms so that I could improve my life. Essentially, I was walking around very fatigued, relying on coffee to get me through the day, and I knew it wasn't normal. It was a lot worse, believe me. It was a lot worse. Like, coffee is good for you, you know, it's great, but when you...
Right that day.
I'm from a nutritionist. Coffee is really good for you. There's loads of health benefits, but at this stage, I was relying on caffeine tablets. You know, a lot. So I was very fatigued, and I knew it wasn't normal, and I was getting food intolerances, and people will often get food intolerances to various different things, but I was getting intolerances to healthy foods like broccoli and apples, and I'm like, this isn't normal.
Oh wow!
Do you know? Yeah, lots of different things, and this is what sparked my interest in nutrition, and because I was able to see how making lifestyle changes and nutritional changes, I was able to balance my hormones again. You know, I was able to get my digestion working again. I was able to increase my energy, and you know, I had it took a while, but it was great. And this is when I started researching nutrition and nutritional therapy and stuff like that. And I think, and this is where I'm saying a lot of things I didn't realize at the time when they happened. I was like probably in tears, or I was upset. But when I look back at it now, I'm thinking this is a great thing to have happened. The company that I was working for announced that they were shutting down and they were making people redundant. And I was like, crap, my salary. Do you know, I was like thinking this, because Kieran's self-employed as well. So there's always that risk. And it was always, you know, and we get comfortable and we know there's a salary coming in, and that's, you know, that's great. And so I remember sitting down with Kieran thinking to myself beforehand, do I really want to stay in HR? Do I really want to do this for the rest of my life? I'm stressed. I'm not happy. It's not really what I want to do. I'm really keen on learning more about this nutrition thing, and I like working with people, and coaching was very much part of even what I did in HR. So I remember sitting down with him, and it's still, those thoughts were going through my, you're a dreamer, maybe you're not able to do this. Do you know, all these things. And I was approaching 30 as well, so I was kind of like, I'm too old to be going back to college now, and be sitting in with young ones. You
are a perfect example of why being a dreamer is a very, very, very good thing. Look at you now.
Yeah, exactly.
You turned your, what I call a side project, so if you're doing your 9 to 5 and then you're dabbling in something during the evenings and in the weekends, it kind of keeps your fire lit.
That's it.
You turned your side project into an incredible dream project.
Yeah, exactly.
You killed it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what, looking back on it now, do you know, it's actually, it's great to see it evolve, and it's still evolving, because I'm still dreaming, do you know, all of these things. And so I sat down with Kieran, probably expecting him to say, can't do that. And he was like, do it. I was like, can I? And he was like, yeah. He was like, you owe it to your future clients to do it. Yes. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. So I did, and I was very lucky that the company, like, I knew at that point that I wasn't going to be made redundant for 2 years, so I could start building. I did research, I was studying in college. I was able to kind of build the ground, do all the groundwork, the stuff that I didn't do the first time, so build the capital and all of that kind of stuff.
Tell us more about that, because there's a lot of people who are watching this that maybe want to take on board a side project with the view to creating that exit strategy that in 2 or 3 years' time they're going to be full-time at their side project. When you made that commitment to your future client, with Kieran looking over and going, you can do this, you can do this, tell me about the steps that you had to take. So there was obviously a plan in place there.
There was kind of, but then a lot of opportunities it's seeing the opportunities that may be presenting to you. So I was working in financial services, nothing related to nutrition, but I purposely went for a promotion so that I could manage people. The company were also offering people management courses or training courses. I did that. I went and I sat down with the tax manager and I said, teach me about tax. I went and I met with the marketing manager and I said, teach me about marketing.
So you did the opposite of what a lot of people's intuition would tell them to do. You over-delivered within your company with the view to supporting your own personal and professional development. Whereas a lot of people, when they either have a redundancy down the line or a side project they want to turn into a full-time project, they switch off. But you didn't. You took it up a notch.
I took it up a notch. I took over the charity committee to see what it was like like to kind of manage something, their well-being stuff. Oh, what else did I do? A lot of not, you know, coaching was part of the people management, so it was developing on my coaching as well as doing this part time as well. You know, in college and stuff like that. So it was always trying to complement things. Like I would take people I worked with and use them for my case studies and, you know, stuff like that. I would trial stuff with people. I bring in recipes, and it was just easy to, you know, the people were there. They were willing to help. I was giving them free food, healthy food, and they were giving me feedback, and that's what I wanted. I was able to talk to corporates about, okay, my ideas. If I pitched this to you in your company, would you, you know, what would you pay for it? What would you think of it? How would I deliver it? And a lot of training. I delivered a lot of training as well to kind of get my public speaking and my confidence and stuff like that up as well. So I looked at all the opportunities around me with what I had without having to do a marketing course. And, you know, like I went and I did various bits and pieces, but it seemed, what can you do within your network that you can do for free, essentially? You know, people will give you knowledge if you give them food.
100%. Elysia came here with scones.
I did.
By pursuing those real life experiences, we completely underestimate the value of those versus sometimes you do need a qualification or a certificate to accelerate in life. But I think above all else, you need a real life experience.
That's
and you sort those out. And I think that's absolutely brilliant. Because again, a lot of people switch off at that stage. A lot of people see that there is a deadline and they just go, okay.
But I was able to talk to people who even were a lot more experienced than me as well, who'd been in business or been in management, and I knew some people in there who maybe had run businesses before. Okay, what do I need? From a business plan to, you know, various bits and pieces, to doing research like about my market and stuff like that, which I'd never thought of doing before, and doing research on pricing and all of these different things. So I really used... I think now I did no work in there, but I did. But it was in conjunction with all of this as well. And bearing in mind, I was studying as well as working full time and trying to set up the business. It was a juggle. It was stressful.
So
you know,
how
it was
did
a challenge.
you cope with all of that? Because again, a huge deterrent for some people when it comes to side project, college, or doing some sort of work outside of your full-time job is, oh, I don't have enough time, it's going to be stressful, I don't have the money to go back to college. How did you overcome any of those challenges?
I had all of those challenges. You know, with trying to finance college, it's risky as well, because I put a lot of my savings into going back to college, and, you know, with support as well, which was good. And I think stuff had to give. Like, I'm a gym junkie, as you know. We love the gym, and even that suffered.
I didn't tell anyone, but for anyone who will recognise it or knows Elysia from somewhere else, Elysia is Strong Over Skinny.
Oh, yes.
This was a blog set up well over 4 years ago.
That's it, yeah.
And it was possibly, well, it was definitely one of the first health and fitness blogs that I ever read about strength training.
Yeah,
so just in case anyone is thinking in their head, but I know this girl from somewhere, that's where it is.
Yeah, that was my powerlifting journey, and it was kind of like my fat loss journey, and how I focused on the weighing scales an awful lot when I was trying to lose weight. And when I started focusing on the barbell and what my body can do for me, it became a healthier approach to fat loss. And it kind of evolved, and it's morphed, like my website as well has morphed from my initial business, which was Move, Dance and Fitness, when I was doing my whole kind of PT and dance thing, to Strong Over Skinny, to Body For You. And I've got like articles that I wrote on my current website that I wrote as Strong Over Skinny or Move, Dance and Fitness. So like even on that is, I'll send you some. The gym kind of suffered for me. You know, I had to kind of didn't compete for a couple of years, which was tough. I'm back competing now, which is good. But being able to manage your time, that's the main thing. Because sometimes you can take on too much, and it's knowing what's too much. Like at that time, obviously, work and like my full-time job that was paying my salary, and college were my two priorities. Aside from family and friends and all of that, but that's another thing as well, is that might suffer as well. So I think you just need to be upfront, and I think it was the best thing for me was having that support from Kieran and my family, that they knew and they understood, and they were supportive about my dreams and my endeavours and stuff like that. That they understood if I couldn't make something, or if I was home late, or if I had to take a couple of hours to study.
But it was also your ability to prioritize, because there's a hell of a lot of people out there who give out about not having enough time, whereas the issue isn't not having enough time, the issue is they don't prioritize the time that they have.
It's making the time.
And it's making that time. And if something is important to you, you find ways to get it done. And you did that, and I think you looked at your day and you said, well, obviously my salary is important, and obviously college is important, and Kieran is important, and you did those things really well.
Yeah.
How did you cope with any of the other challenges that you might have faced, like stress? Was that an issue for you?
Yeah, definitely. And overwhelm was a big issue for me as well, especially even around Christmas time last year. And
a self-care plan for entrepreneurs, I just think, is
fantastic.
As much of a priority as 100%. An accountant is.
100%. Yeah. Yoga for me was something that I implemented that has really helped me, because I'm a go 100 miles an hour. If I'm sitting still watching TV, I can't do that. It's not productive. Do you know? So I'm always kind of had to be on and had to be going. And I found it very difficult at the start to implement yoga, but now I get the benefit of it. Like, I used to think a rest day was just a day off from the gym. I didn't realise that you actually had to rest or relax. I thought rest and relax were the same thing. I was like, oh, you just want me to sit here and do nothing? Yeah. Really? Okay. Do you know?
That's something that a lot of people suffer with. Experience.
Yes.
Just the idea of sitting down and being and not doing anything. And a lot of people think that if they're not being productive, they're wasting their time. They're not doing something that will make them money. But it's one of the most valuable things that we can learn.
Huge.
Whether or not you're running a business, whether or not you're a stay-at-home mom, whether or not you're working in a corporate job in the IFSC or a newsagent down the road, it's so valuable. And you find yoga.
Yeah, for me, it's yoga. And, like, I'm back in the gym and stuff like that as well. And that, helps with stress. But for me, the deep breathing, meditation, I think is fantastic as well. And yoga is a form, it's a moving meditation. And I think, again, being able to have the support network around you, being able to speak to people who are, whether it's family or friends or acquaintances, or even, I suppose, on another level, like at Christmas time, I felt a lot of overwhelm. I was doing an awful lot. I felt like I needed to keep going, and I was feeling very overwhelmed. I actually felt like life was going so fast and I just couldn't keep up with it. That's the way it kind of felt, like on a treadmill. And I went and I just spoke to someone, just once off, went in.
Did it help?
Definitely. You just come out going, do you know what? Give yourself a break, Elysia.
Yeah.
That's what I came out going, yeah, it's okay. And that's when I probably started introducing a lot more of the self-care stuff that we spoke about the yoga and the deep breathing and the importance of getting back on track with my training. And it's one of the reasons why I said, okay, I'm going to do a powerlifting competition. I'm going to have to put time in somewhere, and even though my schedule's pretty hectic, and that's why I get up in the morning and I go train, because I know if I don't, I won't get it done, type of thing. And I think being able to acknowledge it and do something about it, because like I said, stress happened to me before, and I know now it manifests as something else, and I'll always get pains in my shoulders or my stomach, and little things that will kind of nudge me to say, you're getting stressed again.
It's our bodies going, how you love, would you look after me for a second here?
Yes.
We feel stress in many ways, like you said. It could be in your tummy, it could be in your shoulders. And a lot of us are very good at releasing almost the physical symptoms of that stress. We could get a massage, we could go for yoga. But the mental, spiritual, or emotional side effects of that stress as well, we need to have an outlet for that too. That's where talking therapies are so important.
And I'll give you a funny story actually that you just reminded me of. Because after Christmas, because I was so stressed, and although I did implementing stuff, and like I said, it manifests different ways, your immune system is suppressed as well. And I got sick. And it was right before this. It was one of my... it was one of the first corporate gigs that I ever did, and I was spending so much time putting effort into preparing it, and I lost my voice.
Oh my God.
And I went in I was trying to do it, and I was hoarse. So here I am, a health professional, going in to talk about nutrition, health and wellness, and I sound like I had a chest infection. And this just goes to show that you can be eating as good as you want and, eating as healthy as you think you are. But if you're not managing your stress, it can have a huge effect on your digestive system, on the absorption of your vitamins and minerals, and the impact on your mental health as well, and it's suppressing your immune system. So stress management has a huge impact.
When I first set up the Better Life Project, as we've spoken before in the past, something has to give when you're setting up a business. You have to make priorities and manage your time. The gym was definitely something that had to give for me. I wasn't able to invest everything that I needed to invest in the business.
Yeah, me too.
I was training, and it was the first time I ever felt my stress manifest.
Yeah.
I was actually making myself sick, and it was the idea of not making sessions in the gym that was causing me so much stress. Literally had to pull it back so fast because I wasn't prepared to not be fit or healthy anymore, but I just couldn't commit myself in the same way that I used to be able to. And it was quite difficult giving up one passion for another, but at the end of the day, you have to make sacrifices when you're setting up a business, don't you?
That's it, and that was the same for me, and my training was one of the things that suffered as well. But as a result, you know, it is actually more beneficial for me and my own health. And you need to look at your health is your wealth. As a business owner, you need to be. You can't actually afford to be sick.
No.
You know, I lost my voice. I had a chest infection. I probably would have called in sick that day. But you're a business owner. You've committed to doing this. You'll go and deliver under those circumstances. So that's another thing that makes a really good business owner. But you need to look after yourself. You need to manage your health, especially if you're getting into the health and fitness industry. You need to make sure that you're walking the walk.
Absolutely. You do need to be able to take a very holistic approach towards your life when you set up that business.
And that's it. And I do often say to myself, what would I say to my clients? Or even sometimes Kieran says it to me, what would you say to your clients? And I'm like, okay, yeah, I know what I need to do.
I do that to myself all of the time. I coach myself, and a lot of what I will say is, okay, so remember that client of yours who had the exact same problem that you're experiencing now? What did you tell her? And then just go do that shit.
Yeah.
So important.
That's it.
When you reflect over the last couple of years, have you made any mistakes? Or has there been any sort of challenge or setback that someone who's watching might be going through, and that you would have done it differently, could have done it differently?
I think the biggest mistake I probably made was that initial one where I decided I'm just going to go and be a personal trainer or whatever, and not really having any plan in place. But then I learned from it, you know, that kind of way. So,
well, then I don't think it's not a mistake if you learn from it, isn't that true?
Yeah, but it took me a while, you know, that kind of way, and I was very disheartened, and I felt like I was going back to my full-time job with my tail between my legs because and I felt embarrassed around my friends and my family because I left work and I told everyone I was going to be this great entrepreneur and this personal trainer, or you know, have this center, and I had this idea and all of these things, and then I was kind of like, oh, it didn't really work out, so I felt like a little bit of a failure. But I didn't just go, oh, and I know people who tried the whole PT thing and it hasn't worked, and they've gone back and they're probably maybe still there, and they're thinking, well, what if I do this and what if I do that, and maybe they're reluctant to do it again because the same thing might happen. And I was like that as well, and it took me a long time to kind of go, okay, I can do it, I just need to do it better or plan better, and I learned from it as opposed to just kind of going, oh no, I can't do it again.
What stands out the most in that part of your life that would have contributed towards you letting go of that sense of failure that you experienced after being a PT and going back? Was there anything that you did to help you get over it the most? To help you feel like, you know what, it's okay, I can learn from this, I'm going to keep on trucking?
Yeah, it kind of took me a while. You know, I kind of just accepted it at one stage, saying, oh, I'm just going to be in my full-time job because it's comfortable and it's secure and I'm getting my salary and stuff like that. And I think it was only when I was being made redundant that kind of triggered me to go, oh, can I actually do this? And then having the reassurance from people around me as well, saying, well, we believe in you.
Knowing what you know now, would you have quit your job to do this if the redundancy wasn't going to be an option?
Oh, yeah. I think eventually it was always going to be something that I would do. I think I'm just really lucky that stuff happened the way it happened, that I was pushed to do it.
But you also worked so hard. Like, I think, you know, you've always been a business owner. I think you've just had something else that has been more of a priority. But there's always been something there for you.
Yeah, definitely. It's been on and off, and it, you know, whilst it's taken this long, and sometimes, it's only when I kind of reflected in advance of this interview and even over the last while, because Body For You is only here since August of last year, but actually,
it's almost your
I know, it's almost like a party, and I'll make all the food.
I'll eat it.
Yeah. I actually have to remind myself that while Body For You has only been here almost a year, I've actually been doing a lot of this and building up all of this information, even looking at my work in human resources. All of those skills are transferable skills here. Yeah. So, don't sell yourself short. And I was, we attended the Businesswoman of the Year Awards, and a colleague of mine in there had nominated me for the Businesswoman of the Year Awards. And I remember when I was nominated, I was like, well, sure, my business isn't here since August. Like, she was like, you have achieved so much. And it was only when I kind of was like, oh yeah, you're right, actually. Yeah. It's been going on a long time.
We do that in life, don't we? We compartmentalize our successes to the detriment of whatever we're working on at the moment. You've experienced so much success, but just because you didn't experience it in the 12 months since you set up, it's almost as if it doesn't count.
Yeah.
I did the exact same with the Better Life Project. I was coaching for ages before I set up the structure that is now the BLP. And you forget to allow that success to seep into where you are right now. Yeah. What has been some of the best stuff that has happened to you over the last couple of years? Some of the things that you'll always remember that make you so proud to be Elysia from Body For You, to be the person behind Body For You?
Yeah, I think it's the clients. It's being able to help improve someone's lifestyle. And getting the feedback from them, and like with some of them, I would chat weekly, some would be bi-weekly, and it's just hearing how they're getting on, and you build a relationship with people as well, which is really good. It's not just here's your meal plan, see you later type of relationship, and I think it's seeing them evolve is what really is what I'm really proud of. It's being able to help them. Yeah.
What's been your favorite client story?
So I suppose it's I had a weight loss client come to me, and for the majority of people, weight loss will be one of the biggest things, but sometimes for other people it can be a spiral effect. They'll come and say, well, I want to lose weight, but I also want to increase my energy, and there's all these other things. And I had this, so I do face-to-face coaching and also online coaching as well. So I was talking to this woman over the phone, and I remember just checking in, how are you getting on or whatever, and she was like, oh my God, you are a miracle worker. And I was like thinking, great, she's lost some weight or something, and she was like, I have not had a decent night's sleep in the last 2 years. And she was like, since starting your plan and making these changes, I'm sleeping better, I've lost two pounds. And she was like, I don't even care about those 2 pounds. She's like, my energy is better, I can fuel my exercise, I can actually go to the gym and not feel totally fatigued after it, or that I have to have a nap when I come home from work type of thing. So it's changing someone's lifestyle. That for me is the big thing. I was like, wow, I have really helped enhance someone's life, and weight loss is one thing, and weight loss is great, but when you can say you're getting better sleep, that's a huge thing for someone.
I think that's huge. One of the things that I love so much about being a coach in a business is that we have the opportunity to work one-on-one with people, and we get to work with them or alongside them to achieve those sort of goals. So there's no hiding that success. There's no not noticing it. It's right there in your face. And I think it's incredible to see that, or to witness it, or lucky for us to be a part of it in some way.
Yeah, no, it is. It's really, really good. And like there'll be times when they don't notice it either, and they think, and then it's really good to be able to go back. Well, look, 6 months ago, this is where you were, and we'll take out their photos or their measurements, and we reflect on these things, and we could spend our whole session just reflecting, and that's a really big thing, even as a business owner as well, to kind of reflect and go, do you know what, actually I have achieved loads, and I would actually almost compare the fat loss process to the entrepreneur business kind of process, in that you will progress a little, you might plateau a little, and then you'll progress a little, and then you might go, I'm not making any progress, and then you go, oh no, actually, you know what? I have. Let's celebrate this. It's good.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same. It's a similar process, really, isn't it? Yeah.
It's the reason why I'm here today. What are the things that, when you reflect on your journey, you go, yeah, I did that really well? What makes you really proud when you look back at how far that you've come?
I think in the last 2 years was really taking advantage of all of the opportunities around me, you know, and really planning. Now, I'm not saying that's going to take 2 years for you to plan. It was just that's the time that I had. And I think taking the time to really plan it properly was probably something that I did, that I would say I did really well.
That was very similar to what I did when I was leaving my old job and setting up the Better Life Project. I had, I think it was about a year to 18 months if you include my my notice period of planning, and that was taking my side project to a full-time gig, and I called it my exit strategy, and it was initially about going, okay, well, what can I do to make an impact, to learn as much as I possibly can, and just to be able to create goals, because at the end of the day, there's going to be one Monday morning you wake up and you're not going to have that 9 to 5 anymore. You want to be as prepared as you possibly can.
That's it. And it gives you the confidence as well to leave going, I have a plan. I know what I'm doing.
What else did you do to grow your confidence? Even if it was from that last boyfriend, to the time that you were traveling in Australia, to the time when you were talking to Kieran about your plans and your dreams, what else happened for you to feel like you were becoming more confident and ready to take these steps?
I suppose I surrounded myself with people like you, people who, people were like, exactly, who were in the same position, who were just as confident, and, you know, who were setting out on similar experience that you could share, because we kind of have been going along the same similar experiences. So it's surrounding myself with people who are going through similar things, but also maybe people who have gone through it already. So you can kind of bounce off that. So I've really built a good network of people, who are in business, or who are in business a long time or a short time or whatever, or who have been going through, and particularly women, because I think we can talk to each other and we can relate. Like, it's great even having, you know, Kieran, who's built his business and stuff like that as well, to kind of chat to at home, but it's always good to have your female network as well to speak to, and to kind of, who will relate to a lot of the things and the challenges that you'll be going through. So I think confidence-wise, surrounding yourself with people who really believe in what you're doing as much as you do.
I think that's
so key.
So tell me, if it's so important to surround yourself with these awesome people, and I completely agree with you, our journeys are so much more similar than I think we even understand at the moment, because James was definitely my Kieran, and I turned around to him one day and I said I had a dream, and he just kept on saying, well, why haven't you gone after it yet, Sarah? What other excuse could you possibly have to not do the thing that you felt like you were put on this earth to do? If surrounding yourself with that many incredible people is important, what about the people that don't support you? Because I've had those people before on my journey. You've got a couple of friends who don't get what it's like to leave a well-paying job, a secure job, a stable job, to set up your own business. Or what about the people that try to criticize you or offer feedback? How did you manage that? Was that something that you experienced even after your boyfriend?
Yeah, sometimes, you know, you get the criticism and stuff like that, and I'd be lying if I said I didn't take it to heart or I didn't let it impact me. But I think the main thing is to continuously remind yourself that, and in some cases, some of that criticism has actually helped me make certain decisions. You know, I might have been annoyed or upset for a week or two or whatever, but it may have given me clarity, or may have been what I needed to hear, and maybe they just didn't say it in a nice way or whatever. But I think being able to use it as feedback is really good, as opposed to taking it personally.
I asked this question to James when I interviewed him last week. Okay. What do you do every day to make your life awesome?
I thought you were going to say to make your business better.
Business comes next.
Okay.
Business comes next. Because I think we need to have an awesome life. We need to be happy in ourselves, and the side effects in our business will grow or develop then.
Kieran's going to hate me for this. But cuddles are so important, and hugs, and that physical contact. And as humans, we need that. You know, hugs release oxytocin. It's a happy hormone. It makes us calmer. And we spoke about stress and stuff like that as well. Starting and ending your day with cuddles is the best. Yeah. I recommend it for everyone. In fact, I'm going to start prescribing it. Cuddles!
But you want to know one of the reasons why I think that's also so great is we spoke about time management and how something is important to you, you'll make it a priority and you'll do it. Exactly. Like your relationship.
Yes.
Enough of us, I don't think, prioritize those relationships when we're developing and growing something. As maybe it's a business or your side project, and you did, and cuddles is like an ancillary to that. And like, I'm the exact same with James and Lizzie. If I would get my dating calls from Lizzie, I'd turn it into an absolute mess. What do you do every day to make your business awesome? So maybe there's a habit or a ritual that really works for you. Because obviously it's going to be different, but for anyone starting off on a journey, we need to be able to put ourselves into that growth mindset and really experiment. What do you do every day? What works for you?
I think structure is really important, having structure to your day, and making sure that you know kind of what your priorities are for that particular day. Like I could say I start my day with yoga and that gets me set up for the day, which is great and it kind of keeps me focused and stuff. But I think being able to kind of go, okay, so what I did was I've got like, say 4 or 5, I narrowed it down to 4 or 5 priorities that I need to get done in order to grow my business and make my business awesome.
Okay, that in itself, so crazy important, folks. To identify your priorities to make your business grow.
Yeah, that's it. And I narrowed it down to finances, marketing.
To get a pen and paper.
Yeah, that's it. Get a pen and paper. Business development and personal development were the 4 key things that So what I did was I dedicate every day because it's very. If you don't plan this, you'll just get kind of sidetracked and you spend 4 or 5 days, maybe not 4 or 5 days, but a good 4 or 5 hours on Canva just trying to design.
4 or 5 days.
Yeah, 4 or 5 days. And then you're like crap spending the last day trying to kind of get everything done. So I think definitely. For me anyway, Mondays I do my finances, Tuesdays is dedicated to marketing, Wednesdays is like, business development. So I could be out at meetings with potential clients or potential, corporates if I want to get into those. It could be anything like that. Or it could be sitting at home and I could just be it could be email management and stuff like that. But it's always to do with developing the business. I could even be just designing new programs and stuff like that. Yeah. And then, what was the last one that I said? Oh, personal development. That's really important for people as well. Being like, for me in particular, there's like nutrition is a science and science is constantly evolving and there's always new papers and things being issued. So it's important for me to be up to date with all of that and even know what's going on in the media and stuff like that. So these are things that I feel are important in order to get the business to grow and develop. And so just having that structure so that you're not spending hours on Canva designing funky little memes and stuff like that, which is so easy to do, and I think we've all done it. So it's being able to make sure that you get everything done throughout the day is really, or throughout the week is really important.
What advice would you give to someone? Now, maybe they have a redundancy in their future and they have a side project that they really want to turn into their full-time gig. What advice would you give to that person? What do they need to do in order to keep the momentum alive and to literally make their dream come true?
You owe it to your future client to do it.
Yes.
They definitely, you do. Something that Kieran said to me, and it stuck in my mind, is you owe it to your future client and you owe it to yourself as well to do it. And you'll get the doubters and the haters and whatnot, but I think if you keep, and that's what I keep telling myself. I
keep on saying that to any people that I work with to help them overcome barriers with sales or even myself. There's a client who needs you. They might not need you right now, but in a couple of months or a couple of years' time, they need that special gift, that unique offering that you have, and we owe it to them to deliver on that.
Yeah.
Is that kind of the same advice that you would have given your 22-year-old self when your boyfriend at the time was saying you're a dreamer?
Yeah, really. I think that it's important that we reflect back on these things as well, and kind of not even look at kind of like the things we did wrong, but look at them more as learnings, and being able to kind of learn from them and implement.
Implement.
Yes.
Such a crucial word, guys, to actually take action on it.
Yeah. And just kind of know now, if someone does doubt you or whatever, you don't necessarily need to take it so seriously or take it to heart like I did. And then I pressed pause on everything for a couple of years just because someone was an a-hole and told me and made me feel like I was, it kind of squished my confidence,
But look at you now.
That's it,
You honestly must feel so proud of how far you've come, what you've doing. Like, you've been around in the Body For You structure for a year, and you've inspired me more than you know in terms of the approach that you take towards your business. So,
Thank you.
And it's incredible as well to get such an insight into how you think about the business and how you run it. And I'm definitely going to take that piece of advice around structuring your day, around your priorities.
I think it works. It helps for me because at least I know, and I have it programmed into my phone, so my phone goes beep beep beep, and I'm like, okay, that's that done. Now I can move on to some fun stuff. And you can still incorporate the Canva and all that kind of stuff into your day. Just don't do 4 hours of it, when you should be doing something else, because it's very easy to kind of do those things, because there's always going to be aspects of your business that you don't like doing. Some people are stronger on sales than other people. Some people will enjoy the creative side of things. I definitely enjoy the creative side of things. Yeah, I love the social media stuff. I love designing all of those. I love doing the videos. I love, and the coaching side of things. And then you're like, oh, finances, really? But it has to be done. It has to be. There's always going to be, like there was or is in your full-time job or whatever, bits of it that you don't particularly like. You're going to find that as well. It's not always rosy.
But it is always worth it.
100%. Yeah. Like there's days I wake up and I'm like, oh, this is awesome. I'm so happy. I'm going to meet that client today. And you're buzzing. And then there's days where you wake up and you're just like, really? Screw you, Tuesday. So you still have those kind of, but they're the important days as well. I think when you get those kind of like anxiety days, because you're used to kind of your salary and you're comfortable, and now suddenly you're like, there's all this uncertainty and uncomfortableness, so it's very easy to wake up and go, I don't know where I'm going to get my next paycheck from, but it spurs you on.
It does.
It spurs you on.
There is a freedom to being self-employed as well when it comes to finances that a lot of us don't really tap into or try to understand, that it's not all doom and gloom, that there is a power to being able to decide, if I work an extra hour or two today, does that mean that I get an extra couple £100 for it? Yeah. So there is a freedom to it as well.
There is, definitely. And I think and as well with that, with clients as well, you want to see them succeed, and I think you'll give it your all, because it means so much for you as well, as much as it means for them, and you want it for them, but it means so much for you as well as the practitioner and as the business owner as well, to see them succeed. 100%. So you won't cut corners, or at least you shouldn't.
Elysia, thank you so much for coming on to the show.
No problem at all. Thank you very much.
It was an absolute pleasure being able to understand again the person behind the business. I have known you for 4 years, but I feel like I know you so much better now. So thank you for taking the time to come on to the show.
Thank you. I love it.
For anyone who's looking for more information on Elysia or Body For You, make sure you check out her website, bodyforyou.ie. And then I'm going to let Elysia take over. Elysia is very active on Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. And you can find her on those channels. Yeah. What's the username?
So Facebook is Body For You, FORYOU IRL. Instagram is Body For You Ireland. Snapchat is Elysia D83, ELYSIAD 83, and LinkedIn and YouTube, Body For You. Yeah.
Pinterest as well, isn't it?
Pinterest as well, yeah, Body For You.
I told you she did them all.
Them all.
For anyone who is interested in starting a weight loss journey, a fertility treatment, is that the right word?
Fertility support.
Fertility support journey, or corporate wellness, make sure that you check out Elysia from Body For You. That is it from me, folks. Make sure that you stay tuned for next week when I will bring you yet another incredibly awesome guest to help show you how you can make your awesome business and life happen. Until next week, guys, thank you so much. Take care. Ciao.
Bye.